Hello everyone, welcome back to Phantasma, the only show online that is recommended by 4 out of 5 doctors.
Pretty good.
Although we're on Bugs Exposed
I'm sure that
today,
was come up. Yes.
which means we're not recommended by 4 out of 5. We're the other one doctor, and that's Dr. Danger, because we live our lives dangerously here in Bugs Exposed. Christopher.
Why haven't we got a doctor?
We do, it's Tombo.
Tombo does have a doctorate. Also, I think Leanne has a doctorate. No, yeah, she does. She definitely does. So does
one. She just
Dustin.
keeps missing the application.
Dustin has a PhD. Somehow.
He is smart.
He does have sideburns.
He is smart. It's just he's also very cowboy.
It's really
Hey everybody, I'm from Texas.
Hi, Texas. You know what? Speaking from Texas, I don't typically start, so I will start. I'm cable provider, DM for Phantasma. I brought up Texas specifically because I think of the song Come Back to Texas from Bowling from Soup. And I love that song, and I love that band. They're the best. Go give the dude money to buy a van. Dan, take over.
Ninja Dan's Funhouse, channel manager, main editor for Phantasma. I play Grifter here in Bugs' Bones. And you can find me in a whole slew of other things that we usually do. Jack.
Hi, Blackjack K9. Digimon, DM. Whoa! That's coming back at some point. Check that out when it does. Commissions, go check those out too. I really need money because I'm starting to run low. Who hasn't got a noodle?
Hi, I'm Noodle Laser. I play Coco here. I am attempting to keep my shit together long enough to get Onryo done some more, and my commissions are always open. I would also like money. Who hasn't gone?
Daddy.
Barty.
Yes. Okay, so my name is Battery Batty. I DM this game. I haven't been doing a lot of my normal art recently because I've just been kind of had fun drawing stuff for Bugs Exposed. Other than that, I might have to actually open commissions up in a little bit. We'll see. But most of the art that you see featured in this campaign or Greedex Gold was done by me. Not all of it, but a lot of it. Like this startup screens. So just keep that in mind if I do open up commissions. Other than that, I think we're ready. Is that all we need to intro?
There's one thing I need to do. I just needed you to stop the music real quick. Sorry,
yes.
Give me 1 second. All right. Okay, I remember now. Happy birthday
to you.
Happy
Happy
birthday
to you.
Happy
Happy birthday, dear
Noodle.
Jesus Christ.
Happy birthday to you.
Oh my god, that was chaos. Thank you.
That is why I did not join in, because it was going to be too much for me.
Oh yeah.
Everybody
We were
in
not
chat
on
wish
sync.
Noodle a happy birthday.
Which is pretty cool.
If you see this in the VOD and you're watching it on the channel, like 18 years down the line, leave happy birthday Noodle in the comments on YouTube. Just leave happy birthday Noodle everywhere you can find it. Tell people you don't even know about her.
Oh my god.
What you need to do?
Sorry, there was no way I was starting stream without doing that today. Take it away.
I had a feeling.
I'm glad you did.
The important part was Noodle didn't.
So, are you guys ready?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so where did we last leave off? Actually, let's do a recap of last session real quick.
I actually can't remember, so...
I can remember. Last session started off, Grifter yelled a lot reading the newspaper because the newspaper is ass. Tongo was hurrying, getting things together for to help out Christopher with the with what he wanted to do with him to give it a videotape for his family. The Pine Construction Company showed up. The mansion is finally getting fixed. Hooray! And there was some fun moments of, Grifter getting to talk to them and learning a bit more about his late mother. We were looking into how to help Christopher and trying to look up his family, and that led us to Bunko Incorporated, having to seek the services of Francis Marlowe, which didn't really want to do that because that man is difficult to deal with at times, but he seemed a bit more cooperative.
Tonbo likes him.
Tonbo does like him. He has a lot of rats, and he names them all.
He's very thankful that you spared his life.
This is what happens when you don't kill off NPCs. After a gigantic exposition dump about Christopher's past, and figuring out and this was all just to find out the name of his wife and daughters, just so we can deliver a videotape to let him know he's still around. But it turns out there might be a lot of involvement with a quasi-shadow government agency. So we're in hot water again as we make our way to Palm Reef. All we want to do is jump off a tape.
We never
can
get a
people
fetch
leave
quest.
us good and yeah. That's it. Can people just leave us alone?
It's like, next fucking arc of Bugs X Bones, Coco's gonna be like, I'm gonna go down to the store to get a soda. Then a demon's gonna rise up from the earth. I am darkness incarnate. I have an 8-hour-long, 42-episode quest for you, Coco.
Cool. Do you have an idol? And if not, leave me alone.
I'm just saying, y'all haven't stepped in cow shit yet. If you step in cow shit when you get to the island, that's your fault. All I'm saying.
If I step in cow shit, I'm leaving.
Okay.
That's the fucking straw.
Well,
that
then
breaks
avoid the cow
camel's
shit. So.
Yeah, I'm gonna avoid any farmers I happen to randomly see. I'm avoiding.
Farmers only.
Farmers only. But so getting back into it.
You've been, Chow.
Were you guys at the airport, or were you actually on the plane?
At the airport. We haven't gotten on the plane yet.
Okay, you guys are waiting at the airport for your plane to take off. Anybody doing anything?
Milling about, just kind of like Grifter's kind of. He's got some stuff on his mind. He's just thinking about things.
Okay.
Like
one.
Anyone who actively looks at him is probably he doesn't have his usual annoyed expression. He's actually just thinking about things.
Okay. Question: did Anne give you a cell phone last time?
Oh yeah, that phone that in case of emergency.
Did I tell you what animal it was?
Was it Dustin who had the panda?
Yeah, Dustin has the panda.
Yeah, we got the panda.
Alright, what did we get? What was the other animal we had?
I forgot what it was. I think it may have been an armadillo.
Oh yeah, armadillo.
Yeah, it was armadillo. Okay. So yeah, you guys just have that. But other than that, I just want to make sure you guys had that before you took off.
Yep, I never that got brought up.
Did I have to get
Okay.
Did they ask questions about that at baggage claim?
No,
Okay.
they can't even see that baggage claim because it's made out of nin.
Oh, perfect. All right, we can start later. Other characters later.
Yeah. Also, if you guys have any suspicious things on your person, like firearms or a lamppost, you just flash them your hunter's license, and you're able to take them on the plane. For some reason.
I'm a walking alarm, so yeah, I have to flash the license.
No,
I imagine the lamppost is going through baggage claim, and some poor soul has to load that through the baggage carrier cart thing.
Oh yeah, it's like it's like three guys, like very, very they're having to struggle to lift it up, but they load it onto the plane.
I want there to be an annoyed mother at the airport with like 4 children, stuck behind Tonbo because all of his bugs are going through the X-ray machine individually.
One of your bugs has like a plate in their head, but it's fine. You explain it.
Yeah. Greed jumps off walls.
He does.
Machine keeps going off. I keep having to put more knives in a bin.
I can't fucking get Edgar through because he's technically still a pen as well. So he keeps setting it off because he's metal. He's metal and ink. And the thing is, he's not just like a Nen construct. He's a physical object, so people can still see him.
There's like a bunch of like very confused, horrified people at the airport. Like, what? And like the person, like the TSA agent, not actually TSA, but the equivalent of a TSA agent is like, well, like a lot of this stuff is very concerning, but I mean, you guys do have hunter's license, so it's probably important.
Oh, very much so. You can see, note the stars.
And
Oh,
yes,
yeah.
we all have licenses. Don't look at me too hard.
Well, I'm just gonna take your word for it. Please don't murder everybody on the plane.
Relax, and don't worry about the dragon. Practical effects.
I can't see a dragon. There's a dragon.
It just walks behind me.
No, I thought he was very, very visible to everybody.
Yeah, Edgar is.
Yeah.
He's a real thing.
Oh, okay, never mind.
That's why I'm saying, like, practical effects.
Practical, okay. Well, yeah, you guys should be good. Enjoy Palm Reef. I hear it's a very nice place to vacation.
As if reading from the script. As if reading from the script. I am just a small person in a suit.
You should be there by noon. Well, maybe a little after. We'll see.
What time of day is it now?
We'll say it's early in the morning. If it wasn't last session, we'll just say it is now.
So like what, like 7 or 8?
Yeah, 7 or 8. Yeah.
Oh god. Okay, then I'm gonna need a book. Let's see. Is there a gift shop around here?
Oh yeah, just right over there.
Like, oh, I need something to drink.
Does anybody want anything?
Tombo's just getting up to keep himself moving and going with you. He almost fell asleep at baggage claim.
Hey, Coco, Spencer, get you anything at the gift shop?
Earplugs.
Earplugs, okay.
No, I'm fine, thank you.
Okie doke.
You guys just have your run of the Dolly Harbor Airport right now.
What kind of things we got at a gift shop here?
So yeah, there's a couple normal things. You got your Dolly Harbor themed magnets. There is like food concessions, but not in this place specifically. You have T-shirts. Just normal stuff you'd see in an airport gift shop. There are books, cassette tapes for audiobooks and stuff, and just also a certain book by an individual that you may recognize slightly, or not.
I recognize that half a face.
You would see. Let me actually re-show you guys their art. If I don't even have it uploaded in this game. Fuck. You see a picture of Shark Eyes from way back when. Apparently, he has published his own book. Last time you heard about this man, he was in prison.
What the actual hell?
It says
What?
The Trials and Tribulations of a Man Called Shark Eyes.
Okay, I'll be taking this.
Here's a picture of him.
There he is!
Beautiful man. Doesn't have shark eyes. Has shark teeth though, and his hair kind of looks like, but his eyes are just.
Oh, that's why his
People,
arms
believe it
swell
or
up.
not, that man is 20.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
Listen, Jotaro's 14 or whatever the fuck he is, Pete. That's less.
Yeah, he looks 30.
That's less believable than Shark Eyes.
That's true.
And then he doesn't age, even in his 50s. But that's beside the point.
Tombo, do you see this?
Tombo would look over at the book that you have. You know, he couldn't have wrote that if I didn't break him out of that facility. I better have a chapter in there.
Oh my god, you think Endocore is listed in here? It has to be. He was in their basement.
You don't think he listed our names in there, do you?
Oh God, I hope not.
Buy it. Are you buying it?
Oh. Yes.
Yeah, you're thorough. You'll read it. Tombo's going into the cooler and just like looking towards the person working at like the gift shop. Hey, what's the strongest energy drink you have?
We have Diet Griffin, which they tested it on like these little like lab mice and they kind of exploded. So I guess the stuff's pretty, good.
He'll just grab and go, it'll work. So, what else did you need while you were here?
Let's see. Tested it on. Wait. Did this say the mice exploded?
Oh yeah, the mice. Apparently, there was a whole controversy, but it ended up like making them even more big and famous. Just don't drink too much of it at once, okay?
Like, a good fourth of it is already gone. Huh?
You know what? I'll take a can as well.
She'll throw it over to you.
Hey. All right. Are we paying for the book and the earplugs and the can?
Oh yeah, you do so. Pretty easy.
Tom, I've been wondering something.
Hmm?
Do you think I worry about Anne too much? I mean, she's been saying some pretty concerning things lately.
I mean, look at it this way. If you didn't care, you wouldn't worry. So, all it is proof that you still care.
I mean, of course I still care. I mean, it hasn't been all that long.
No, I just mean the worry is a good thing. It's when you don't worry about Anne is when I think you should be concerned.
I'm concerned about the fact that she wanted an underground thing like Seox.
I'm still concerned with the fact that Seox wants one of those.
But
Look.
I still don't know the details of what her, Spencer, and Chio did.
And you never will.
Oh, I'm gonna find out.
Look, how about when we're gonna have to go looking around for Christopher's wife anyway when we get to the place, right?
Yeah.
I'll go with Spencer and I'll try to see what I can, glean from him if anything. You have good intentions, Grifter, but Tombo just goes and gets like a piece of string. Like if this is an average fuse, you're about half of it.
I'm working on it, okay?
You used to be a quarter.
Well, if he happens to mention anything about a man called Glass, that's my biggest concern.
He's like
more CA-1213 leftovers.
He's drinking the energy drink, but he holds his like thumb up towards you, then in between. No, I got you.
I appreciate it.
How is this supposed to make mice explode? It's barely doing anything.
It's probably due to how your cells have been lately.
Stupid men. Tombo looks irritable. He had to wake up extra early today. He still has not slept consistently. Oh well. It'll work eventually, hopefully.
I don't have an extra can if you need it.
I might. Just finishes it up, puts it there, and then just like looks around. So how much time do we have before the flight takes off?
Now boarding.
No, we're not halfway across the airport yet.
Enough time to fuck around if you guys want to, but also enough time that you can just kind of let it fly by you super fast if you just want to board now, specifically.
It actually almost happened to me. I almost missed the plane.
AKA 25 to 45 minutes.
Well,
Tombo's gonna go.
No.
He's just gonna go sit by the gate and wait for everything to start, boarding. He says he'll stay
Gotcha,
awake, but in
earplugs.
2 seconds he's already passed out in his chair. Don't worry, I'll keep.
Yes, he'll keep watch. Coco, have your earplugs here.
Ah, thanks.
So apparently, Shock Eyes wrote a tell-all book.
You better not have been saying too much about me.
Well, we'll find out when we get to the CA-1213 Endocore chapter. Trials and tribulations of a man culture. He had the nerve to put his face on this.
You're skimming through, and Grifter, and you see he does refer to you as a dashing rogue in your chapter.
Okay. He has a good eye, at least.
I broke him out, Batty. What does it say about Tombo?
He
What doesn't it say?
he referred to you as a very spunky and optimistic scamp.
Oh, cool. You know, I was looking for a reason to give Chio a job.
No, don't kill him.
But the actual reason he picked this up also is because if this is a book written by Shark Eyes, then there's a lot of in-depth stuff probably about CA-1213.
Oh yeah.
Oh, good, my current favorite subject.
If anybody doesn't have anything else to do, we can say you guys just start boarding the plane.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really have too much to do right now. It's more Tombo.
Oh, we got a 4-hour flight anyway.
Oh yeah, no,
Yeah.
Tombo's just gonna try to he wants to board as soon as possible so he can just sleep and stay asleep.
Okay. So, you guys head on the plane.
Who's sitting near who? What's our seat?
That's
Sit
up
next
to
to Coco.
That's okay. You're sitting next to Coco. How's everybody else sitting?
I'll sit with Spencer and Edgar.
Okay. Let's see if there's anything.
I'm afraid you don't get the window seat because he already takes it.
It's fine. Tombo's just gonna seeing you take the window seat, he's just gonna plop down in the chair next to you, look very composed. Spencer, do me a little favor.
What?
If anybody comes by to try to wake me up, please warn them that this is probably the only time I'm gonna get to sleep for a little bit. I might swing. Please don't let them wake me up.
Oh, okay.
Thank you. And immediately he's just curled up and starting to pass out again. If you look at him, he's got it's not the comedic tired face, but it's he almost looks very gaunt in his facial features. He is very, very drained. What? He'll start snoring obnoxiously loud.
Okay. Tombo, it turns into a 6-hour flight, so you get a good 6 hours in.
Thank God for storms.
And eventually, if anybody wants to do anything on the flight, we can skip forward.
Jack Noodle, you two doing anything?
I got none.
Okay.
You probably got.
No.
Coco's probably taking a nap too with those earplugs.
Yeah, and plus they help with the atmospheric pressure of being on a plane.
Well, I'll have been reading that book then.
Okay, you get through the entire book. You were both flattered but also angered by some of the stuff in it as your grifter, and you have a wide range of emotions that tend to lead towards anger. But the thing that you were surprised about the most was Shark Eyes' what how do I say this? He is a very good writer, and he knows how to set up a scene very well, and you're actually shocked as how you were entirely gripped through the book, and you were able to finish it in under 6 hours because you were reading it so, I don't know, it was very impressive.
Be damned. If I ever meet him again, I may have to ask him to sign this.
And the plane lands at the Palmport Airport.
Of specific details that were in there, does it
Yeah.
talk about any of the people he was in the facility with?
Oh, he talks about and Shroomsy and Truffles and a couple of the others. Mentions how Low and Blow were kind of like pseudo like just bossy assholes. And he was not surprised how they turned out later in life.
Just give a bit of a snort on that, like future corpses.
But yeah, you guys land down in Palmport. So just getting off the plane, just describing the city of Palmport. Okay, how do I describe this? A lot of palm trees, very sunny, rolling hills. All of the buildings in the city, what the fuck? All the buildings in the city kind of look like very regal and old-fashioned, like sort of like European-looking archways, but they're kind of also different in that they all have like very vibrant colors attached to them, and not uniform either. Like you'll see like old-timey looking like very bright pinks like building next to like one that's like blue, and so on and so forth. You just see like little beetle cars just kind of zooming by. All the cars here are very small for some reason, but it's very charming, I guess is what I would say. But it is a lot bigger of a city than you expected.
Well, now, would you take a look at this place?
Oh. Yeah, it looks... He just like slaps his face. Damn, Christopher lived here.
Huh. Say, do we happen to have a street address?
Do we?
I'm gonna guess no.
You guys have a birth certificate?
We do have a birth certificate. Well, I suppose that's where we start our investigations.
Not on foot.
Well, no, my first thought was check a phone book.
I was gonna get a car.
You get a car, I'll check a phone book.
When you have to go to a city registration office.
A what?
You know, a place where they keep records.
Huh. Like, looks towards... Alright, who wants to get a car with me? Who wants to go to the registration office with Coco?
Go to the registration office.
Spencer? Car?
I guess we're going for a car.
Edgar, what's your taste in cars like?
Red, flashy, and sportsy.
Oh,
I
hi.
like the way that dragon thinks.
The me of cars. Let's go.
Okay. Who wants to go first?
Do you
Yeah,
want...
we can roll for it.
Do we want to have a dumb time with car, or do we want to have actual serious moment with registry office?
I'll do casual initiative. I vote for that.
Yeah, why just do
Okay.
straight D20s?
Yeah. fine.
Yeah, that works.
Alright. I got a 15.
Alright, registration office it is.
Okay, so Coco and Grifter, you guys are heading to find a registration office in the city. Roll me. What did you roll for this? I am. Actually, tell me how you're going to find the registration office. How about that?
It's usually like a city hall type building.
That's one of those other things we could probably find like in a phone book, like just looking through and finding an address.
Okay. So, what are you doing first?
Checking the blue pages for a government building.
Okay. I'm gonna say you do find a phone number and you do find an address.
Man, all right. Suppose we could flag down a cab to get there.
It's not a bad idea.
I'll just say you guys do so. No worries.
All right. Oh, yeah, this is already going pretty smooth.
So yeah, nope. You come across the kind of city hall type building. It's very big. Think of like if you've ever been to like a library in like a big city. That's dumb. I can't think of like a specific building, but it takes up basically a block. It's very large, but you are just kind of able to climb up the steps and go inside. And there's different booths where people are keeping records of everything.
This is a big place.
Yeah, I'd say so. So it occurs to me that birth certificate's right. How many people actually live in the same house they were born in forever?
I don't imagine very many.
Right, but there is a record on the person who was born in a certain place to lead to any other places of residence after their birth.
You seem very well acquainted with this.
It's a bit of a family need to know sort of thing, I guess.
Oh, damn. Turned out we did have a street address after all. Oh, that's something we can check for later.
Yeah. But yeah, you go up to the counter. There's a elderly woman with glasses on. Oh, hello.
Hello there. What if we can get some help trying to find a person in this city?
Okay. Well, what's their name?
The name is Joanna Kent Ward.
Okay, that should be easy. Let me type something in, and she's just typing something into the computer. One thing that you do notice, you kind of were just offhandedly informed that culturally this place is like, not technologically, but culturally this place is like a decade behind you guys. And it does, most of the people in this this sort of area do look like they are wearing clothing from the year 1988. As she's looking up, yes, there is a Joanna Kent Ward that lives in the city. Are you a part of an advertisement agency or outsourcing?
No, actually.
We're here to deliver a message from her late husband.
I don't think she has a husband on file. Perhaps could you be mistaken?
Oh, no.
No, I'm quite certain she must have moved here after he passed.
That, actually, Coco, you're thinking of her mother.
He wouldn't be in your registry, is my point.
This would be late father.
That's right. I get to. Their names are kind of similar. My apologies.
Well, I assume I could give you her phone number.
Oh, that would be amazing. Thank you.
Here you go. She's just gonna write down a piece of paper and hand it to you.
Thank you very much. I'm surprised that we're actually going to be able to deliver this in a good manner.
I'm not surprised. We're not causing any trouble, so we have no reason to, be in trouble.
No, I'm just surprised things are going smooth for us.
You've just jinxed it. Next thing you know, we're gonna be fighting off werebears in the woods.
Okay, there's quite a few things I can believe with Nin, but werebears?
I believe it. I mean, have you seen Tombo lately?
Okay, you make a good point.
I make a very good point. Also, he needs more sleep.
I'll just send Tumblr a message saying that we got a phone number. We can at least call her.
You get one back. Just says me and Spencer are at a dealership, and Edgar's trying to haggle with the dude.
Well, here's the address of the building we're currently at once you get the vehicle.
You get back a salute of Edgar getting into a fight with a day manager at a dealership, and it just says, okay, meet you there.
I could have sworn at some point that someone was going to say, "What's your favorite kind of car?" Stolen.
Hey, well, we got the number. That was surprisingly smooth.
Okay. Do you guys want to make the call now, or do you want to switch over?
Oh,
Just because
I was gonna wait to call until we had Tombo and Spencer.
we will switch over then. So Edgar is currently arguing with a day manager.
I don't know why he's arguing, Spencer. I have the money to pay for all this.
You're gonna see like the manager call his boss, and you're gonna actually see this man come out. He's about 6'2". He has a mole on the center of his face. He's fairly muscular, not too muscular. Do you guys see the art right now?
Fuck, he's pretty.
Yeah, he has very, very manicured eyebrows. And he's kind of has this like frilly, loose button up for a shirt. Oh, hello there. What seems to be the problem?
I honestly don't know. We just came here to get a car.
Oh, well, somebody was starting an argument or something, or?
Just looks over towards like what is Spencer doing right now?
He's just looking dejected, like, I can't believe this is happening again. And definitely this is the can't believe it's happening again look.
Well, I can help you out if we'll just let your buddies dish it out and we can do real business. How about that?
Sounds like a plan. What was your name?
Oh, Eduardo.
Guardo. Tombo just thinks for a second before he said, Marshall, nice to meet you.
Nice, Marshall. Well, if you go right this way, we can... You look like a big buyer. You like sports cars.
What do you got that's red, fast, flamboyant, and all around, What do you got that really just kind of walks into the room and everybody looks at it?
You need everybody to know you've arrived. I gotcha. And he's just gonna like take you down to a huge line of sports cars.
What screams midlife crisis?
And as you're just kind of going through and you're just looking, I'm actually gonna put Eduardo's token on the map. No, wait, yeah, okay, I'm gonna put his token on the map. Tonpo, roll me a perception check.
Will passive work or no?
What's your passive perception?
21.
You see a bunny rabbit wearing glasses and a little button-up like short sleeve shirt with a pocket protector, and he's just hopping around.
No.
Wait, is that rabbit wearing glasses?
Oh yeah, he's one of our employees. Don't pay too much mind to it.
Does he just kind of like looks in? Does he come from a specific place?
Oh yeah, my little brother actually made him.
Oh, are you Diego's brother?
He's a rabbit trainer. You know Diego?
He's a friend of mine.
Oh my god.
Well, nice to meet you. He's gonna actually be taken back. Oh, well, if you're Diego's friend, maybe I can actually give you a discount.
Huh? Oh, no, it's fine.
Yeah, oh, man. Do you hear about hear about what happened on Bulu Empire? The whole exploration team?
I heard little bits about it. I remember seeing in the paper something about it. I think that there was a very handsome entomologist who helped them solve the whole problem.
Well, I didn't hear about that guy, but my little Diego, I don't know if he told you, but he's actually involved in some of that. But luckily he made it out alive. I know there's a lot of weird stuff that happened, but man, it makes you worry.
Yeah, well, it's good to have. It's a good thing he's a good people person. He always seems to meet the right kind of guy who can help him out of a situation.
So you wanted a sports car?
Yeah, something that'll something that'll really just help us make a good entrance. And Tombo just kind of like leans in and like tilts the sunglasses down. I got a lady I'm trying to impress.
Yeah, I see. Well, even if you're a friend of the family's, I'm afraid I'm not gonna be able to get too far down the price range. How does 100% off sound?
Just kind of like looks at him. That's why I like your family.
Well, here you go, Mr. Handsome Entomologist, and he's just gonna throw you the keys.
You did see me in the paper.
Oh, Diego went into very good description about the people that saved his life.
Well, he's a friend of mine, and I would do it again.
What did he say about the cowboy?
What did he say about the cowboy? Oh, I think he called him handsome.
What I fucking thought.
But, yeah, no, he just tosses you the keys, Tombo.
Tombo catches them, shoots him a smile, writes down like well, actually, he's not gonna hand it to him just yet. Once I settle up what I need to do here, I'm gonna swing by again. If we ever have an impromptu like get together over in Dolly Harbor, swing by.
Oh, I'd be happy to. Oh, wait, are you gonna be staying Palmery for a while?
My gut tells me no, but my heart tells me that this is gonna probably take a while.
If you ever find yourself in Strainer's Bay, our sister actually owns a motel there.
Oh, what's your name?
Anita. We're twins.
She gives him a thumbs up on that. I'll be sure to look her up when we get there.
Okay. Well,
Actually,
nice
wait,
meeting you.
You don't happen to know this name, do you? And I don't have the name written down. Can you just refresh the name of Christopher's daughter to me, please?
It is Joanna Ward.
You don't know anybody named Joanna Ward, do you?
Joanna. Can't say I do. But, wait a second. And he's gonna, snap his fingers. She works for that big fancy advertisement agency that I been meaning to. Yeah, I remember. I was going to, do a commercial. Apparently, though, she's having to take some time off, but I hear she's one of the best in business.
Huh. Good to know. Hey, Eduardo, appreciate your help.
Hi, nice to meet you. Marshall, is it?
It's Tonbo. But if anybody asks, it's Marshall.
Gotcha, and he's gonna wink at you.
Winks back, Tonbo gets into the car, and then immediately he's just he's gearing up. Wow. Didn't even ask if I had a license. It pays to be nice to people. And then just rolls and picks up Spencer.
Spencer, Edgar, and the day manager tussled it out a little bit, but one of the rabbits broke it up. There's actually a lot more rabbits working here now that you're aware of this, Tombo.
Bye, rabbits! I like the rabbits.
They're gonna make rabbit noises.
I'm so happy.
And then, as Spencer's all in the car, he's gonna look back towards Edgar. See how easy it can be if we just be nice to people?
Listen, I almost had him down. You didn't give me enough time.
We got this car for free. Just looks at him.
Wait, you just precious.
it up. I'll turn this car around. Let's just start driving out of the lot. Alright, Spencer, you're playing GPS. I don't know where we're going.
I don't know where we're going.
Grifter
I
gave us
gave
an
you
Do we
the
even
address.
address.
have a map?
I gave you an address.
How about you remember
Yeah.
the address?
We have a map.
I mean, yeah, but I get lost in cities pretty easily, so we'll figure it out. And just kind of
You should have had a grifter.
starts driving up. It takes like probably an extra 10 minutes longer than it should.
Eventually, you do see Tonbo, or Grifter and Coco, you do see Tonbo driving up in a red sports car.
Hello there.
Someone's trying to impress somebody.
Well, I mean, if we're gonna go, I got a little information on the person or one of the people we're looking for. I figured flashier is better for where we might have to go.
Huh, what you found out?
Two things. One, the whole place with the car. It's run by Diego's brother.
How small is this world?
Very. He also gave us the and just like traces out in the air 100, 100% off on the car. He said thanks
Good
for saving.
family.
He said thanks for saving his brother on the island.
Damn, that's good to pay. But
It's nice to be.
you know,
nice to
I
be
knew I
called-
liked Diego. I knew I liked Diego a lot.
You know he's invited to a barbecue now. They have to show up.
Oh, of course.
Second, Joanna works at this really big advertising firm.
Huh.
She's apparently
The
one of
inside asked if we were involved with advertisement.
she's one of their best, but she's taking personal time off right now. But if we're gonna find her, that's probably one of the best places to start looking.
She must have assumed that we also worked for an advertisement firm and we were looking to get her for work.
I mean, and just kind of like Tonbo tilts his glasses down a little bit, looks at Grifter, and then looks at Spencer. We are with an advertising firm. We're here helping to market the new up-and-coming star who discovered all those artifacts on the Bulo Empire. Isn't that right? Looks over at Coco. I see
I have
Oh.
no idea what you're talking about.
Oh, yes, the young Miss Moto here.
Yeah, we're just their agents.
Didn't you just say we should be using our names?
We're not gonna use your name. Well, you're a Moto. I think it's hard for people to not know who you are.
That's why I've been trying to tuck the ginger into the hat.
Oh, we should have bought you hair dye.
Aww,
No, think about it. You could have been blonde, Coco.
you!
Tombo does jazz hands to try to emphasize the point. But if it comes down to it, that might be a way if they're not very, like, accommodating with us at first. But we're not really doing anything wrong. We're just trying to find people, so... Let's...
I mean, honestly, all we're trying to do is chop off a videotape.
Yeah. I think as little as we need to let you people even know we're here is best. But I don't think maybe we can actually have a pleasant vacation.
Well, we could always, if anything, we could always try the straightforward approach. When we do have a phone number here, we can just say that we have, family business, and then we're off.
I don't think we should necessarily do that. As bad as it sounds, I really do think we need to be kind of underhanded. Because I take it that she might not be too happy to hear about her family.
Mm. We also shouldn't blindside her with what's on the tape too, because that might not be okay for her psychologically. And you see Tombo sort of look down a little bit. I know if I just got a tape like that, it would probably leave me with more questions than answers.
No, my point is that we use advertising to get in the door, and then when we have her attention, we, calmly tell her to, little bit at a time what we're actually there for.
Yeah, and if all else fails, we just put the card in a mailbox, and we let family business sort it out.
Right, exactly.
Huh.
Anything goes wrong afterwards, and we just hop in this little red beauty here, and we get right the hell back on the plane.
It's up to her whether or not she even watches the tape. We can't force that on her.
This is True. We still don't know where his wife is either, but this is as good a place as any to start.
I would hope that the daughter in question knows where she is.
He specifically wanted me to bring the tape to his wife.
Eh,
But, you know, we work with what we got. Tombo's gonna immediately just start, like, looking at the car. And you'll help us get there, won't you? Yes, you will. I'm taking this home with me, by the way.
Of course.
Gory's gonna get jealous at this rate.
No, we can do it in the back.
Shh.
Tombo's hugging the car. I love you.
Going to be more comfortable with cheese stuffed in there.
No.
That was a joke. No.
A cheese koozie.
Snapping at Coco, pointing at her.
That was out of character.
That Tombo's so enthused he heard it through the fourth wall.
I see.
God.
Alright, get in.
Oh, gladly.
So, you guys heading to the advertisement agency?
I was gonna park somewhere quiet to then make the phone call before we headed there.
Yeah,
That's also an option.
Yeah, we'll probably just use a
You guys,
payphone.
You guys find a back, not like back alley, but like a parking lot that's like kind of wedged between like a couple of very tall buildings, and there's payphones nearby.
Perfect. Oh, what's the name of our agency? Or are we looking for an agency?
I didn't get the agency name. Damn, we need a fake agency. Just thinking in snaps. Blind Bandit Enterprise. Or Blind Bandit Entertainment.
Why not? I was planning on using Bandit's name for the bed and breakfast anyway.
Santa gets royalties. Okay. That was Cable out of character doing that.
Alright, gonna pop a couple quarters in a payphone.
You hear it ring for a second, and then it goes to a messenger. This is Joanna. Sorry, I can't take any business calls right now. I'm on an extended vacation. If you need me, you can try to contact me or my agency. I'll be back up to pick calls, and then she's gonna give you a date that's about a week or two from now.
Tompo, she's not accepting business calls at the moment. She got her machine.
Damn. I mean, do we go to her agency and leave the tape on her, tell them to leave it on her desk? Or...
No, we
I think
shouldn't
it's
just
our
do that.
needs a
That's
personal touch.
yeah.
We're in no hurry, right? We can wait a week.
What do we do for a week?
I know, explore the island. You said you wanted a vacation. You get some sleep.
Well,
You do look like you need the rest.
we also, you know what, you definitely should get some rest, Tombo. We also do have this address here that was on the birth certificate.
We should probably check the address. I get what you're saying, I don't really have too much time to stop and take a vacation right now. I can take one later. This is a nice place, though. I would love to come back.
Can't do that if you die from exhaustion first.
I don't think that can kill me.
Well, according to this here, 1731 Gray Boulevard.
Okay. I don't know where that is.
But
Who's taking shotgun?
Would be Grifter, because he has an innate sense.
I do. Hand the map over.
So looking at it, Grifter, there on these birth certificates and looking at the map, there is no street in the city that is labeled Great Boulevard based off the looking at the birth certificate. But you do.
Oh,
You
we're on the wrong island.
do.
Ah. Maybe Edgardo knows where it is, like what island it's on at least.
It says it right here, Misty Island.
Oh, we gotta catch another flight.
Or a boat.
Yeah, boat.
Looks towards the car. My kingdom
You
for
could
a
have
car that can go on water.
Grifter, you did see a ferry service, and they do take vehicles from island to island.
Oh, well, look at that. They have a handy gate they can open up and you can bring the car with us.
Oh, you think if we tell them we're hunters, they'll let me jump off the dock and land onto it?
We're not doing that.
Don't do that.
So 1 minute Tombo's like shifting into gear and driving very carefully down there. So 1 minute I get a vacation, and then the first thing I want to do as we start going
You
down.
said you said you didn't have time for a vacation.
This was on the way. We're just going through tunnels and shit as this conversation's going on.
As you're moving through, Grifter, you do actually notice a street that you recognize. It just kind of hits you. It's one of the streets that was labeled on that list of Candy Kiss locations that your brother printed out for you.
Tombo, turn off here.
Ah, it's the break. What's going on? None users?
No.
Oh.
The street was on the list that Rick gave us.
Oh, it's a Candy Kiss. Or it should be anyway. Hold
Definitely worth checking out while we're here.
on. I mean, we got time. Just finds a place to park.
You guys park. You follow the location. The Candy Kiss is currently a sports apparel store.
Interesting. I wonder if anyone here knows about the place it used to be.
Probably.
Only one way to
Place like
find
that
out.
has history.
There's an
How
underpaid
old-
teenager at the counter inside.
Probably not this person.
I was gonna say, how old was the Candy Kiss originally?
Quite
Like-
old.
Between then and now, maybe we should start asking some of the elderly folk around here. They'll probably know more about it than the younger generation would.
I
No.
think I'll
God,
go
I
with
feel
you,
old just
actually.
saying that.
I have a way with the elderly. They tend to like me.
It's true.
Luckily for you guys, there is a lawyer's office next door that specializes in wills.
Oh! Oh!
Ooh, let's try you there. The places of the recently dying or deceased.
I'm sure this is the also next to the Golden Corral.
There is an elderly couple coming out.
Looks towards, like, as the elderly couple comes out. Coco, go do your thing. Old people like you.
Hello. I'd like to ask you a few questions about the building that was once here.
Oh, aren't you precious?
Well, thank you. I'm
Uh,
currently trying to record the history of timeless classic,
Candy stores.
candy stores. Right. And also other types of buildings from the good old days.
Oh, there was a candy store here, wasn't there?
And then her husband's like, "Oh yeah, that was a long time ago. Oh, jeez.
Just tell me everything you know.
There was, I remember there was a candy store. The owner didn't come by too much. Then we used to bring our daughter here.
Yes, we did. Very, very long
You know
time
when
ago.
it went out of business?
Oh, maybe 30 20 years ago? Somewhere in that
That's
time range.
It's very helpful, thank you.
Oh, you're very welcome. Have a hot candy.
Oh, thank you. I'm gonna give this to Dustin.
We don't know what that is, but it sounds pretty weird. And then they're just gonna walk off.
Rude bitch.
You ain't here.
You're collecting cards, motherfucker.
You're with me on the island.
That was me saying that. How a fucking dare.
But yeah, they walk off.
About 20 to 30 years ago, the Candy Kiss in this location disappeared. How interesting.
Huh.
We'll have to see if that time frame matches the other locations as well.
Just writing it down. I don't know what we do without you, Coco. I don't do well with old people. They try to pinch my cheek. I don't like it.
He tried to pinch my cheek too, but that kind of tends to hurt their bones if you catch my meaning.
I wonder at what point that he disappeared. I know according to the birth certificate here, his daughter would be about 36 by now.
Well,
So if we take some things to conclusion, that maybe she was about 6 years old when he went.
Possibly. Definitely young.
so then that means if he disappeared 30 years ago or died at that point, maybe people would know about an event that happened 30 years ago that might be in correlation to it. Obviously, if people remember there was a candy store here, someone would remember the owner, turning up dead.
You know what? Didn't that operation paper says wasn't that dated about 21 years ago?
Give or take, yeah.
Ew.
Bless you.
Bless you.
Ew.
Again,
When I sneeze, he does.
So it's probably about right. About 20-ish years ago. So about 21 according to the operation report.
Oh, she would have been my age then, maybe?
If it was 20, yeah, she would have to be about your age. Huh. This is one of those things I have the gut feeling of that if we're gonna start looking into it a little more, we're gonna probably have to be careful. Those papers. I don't know.
Those papers.
The rat man looked really sweaty to tell us that information.
Gross.
Something definitely bothered him in those. I don't know whether it was a name or the idea of the operation in general.
I'd say it's probably the idea. That seems super spooky.
Looking around at the location and just kind of getting a feel.
Do we ask more questions here, or do we go to the ferry?
I mean, should we try to look in the actual place itself? Maybe there's something there. Even if it's I don't know if the location was built over is the thing, or if it's still the same building. But if it's the same building, something tells me
Maybe there is something hidden.
Buildings that old have been...
Friend would probably... Tondo's catching himself. Would probably leave something in a place that not a lot of people would think to look.
Most likely hidden panels. 'Cause that seems pretty up his alley.
Buildings that old too tend to have a lot of details written on the brick.
Good point.
Alright.
Well, shall we shop for sportwear?
I love sport. Tondo walks in.
You go to sport the wear.
Okay, well, let's see what sort of palm reef bangers they have in here.
I was
Um,
actually outside inspecting the masonry.
You would actually see a logo for something. A lot of the sports jerseys they have on, they have around here have a mascot that seems to be a orange and cyan parakeet, which I'm going to show to you now.
Oh. The Strainer's Bay parakeets.
Oh, I love it.
Yes.
Oh, they're amazing.
There's a lot of Strainer's Bay parakeet mascot paraphernalia around here, including bobbleheads and shot glasses and stuff like that. But other than that, looking around, I want everybody to roll me an intelligence check, just straight up.
Oh, I see.
Or history.
Or history?
Or history. History would work for this, actually.
Let's see.
I'm bad at both, so.
I have to check something specifically by history.
I'm way better in history, so.
Wow.
So all of you guys, except Scythe Bayer, looking at the architecture,
20.
actually including Scythe Bayer, you guys just kind of instantly realize this is a newer building, and any remnants of the old building has been paved over. This all is very new architecture, and to make this type of building, they would have had to pave over any thing from before, if that makes sense. This is not repurposed.
Whatever was here was been fucking completely demolished if there was anything left.
Betty, who's working
Well.
at the counter?
Some teenager.
Like, looking towards everybody else after figuring this out. Alright, I don't feel comfortable with this, but is it okay if we possibly do something illegal just to be sure about it?
What are you planning?
Well,
Oh no.
this is definitely a newer building, but if there was anything important there, it seems like owners would probably keep it in case it was worth something. If they have a safe in the back, it's probably there.
How can we be sure they keep something like that around, though?
That's why I said possibly illegal, because we can't be sure, but if it is here, then that's definitely where it would be. The only thing is, I don't actually know, I can't come up with a good enough excuse to go get it. Or to even get
Well.
back there to look.
1 second. I'm gonna look around I'm looking around the general area for surveillance cameras.
There's one.
Okay, I'm going to walk by where it is. Is there a place? Am I able to get underneath it?
Yes.
Okay. So, underneath it, generally out of the camera view.
Yeah.
Okay. Then I'm gonna have Poltergeist go up along the wall and do a little severing.
Okay. Nice grudge reference, by the way. You do so pretty easily.
Oh. What the hell was that? Faulty wiring in this place, apparently.
Alright, anybody think they can keep the person at the counter distracted?
Spencer, Edgar.
Don't ask him to do it, please. He'll do it.
Oh. You two are pretty good with the youth, right? Being a comic artist and all.
That's not what I meant. He just pulls you in close.
Hmm?
He's the kind of person who'll want to speak to the manager every time. We already saw what that was like when we were trying to get a car.
Yeah, Edgar's
Wouldn't
different.
that help us in this case for Tombo to get back there?
Alright, but it be on your head when you have to deal with him bitching about it later.
Don't worry,
I'm
don't
not
worry.
gonna be listening.
I'll be here looking over various parakeet paraphernalia while you do that, and if it starts getting dicey, I'll step in.
Okay.
Don't use your real name, by the way, Spencer.
Oh, okay. What do I call myself?
Grifter, figure it out with him. Also, hold my hat.
Holding your hat. Have you ever had a pen name or an alias you've ever gone by?
No, not that I can recall. Well, that was one time.
Hmm?
I guess I could call myself Vincent.
Vincent? Yes, you look like a Vincent.
I don't think so.
Oh, come on. You have the jawline for a Vincent.
What, none at all?
No, don't take a step short there.
Listen, I know what I am. And he is living that up.
Go do your thing, Vincent.
Okay.
You would actually see too, Coco and Grifter. Tonbo's clothes look like they're getting baggier on him as he's getting smaller.
Oh no. Yep, he was the right one.
Don't say anything about this. I don't like that I can do this at will now. Wish I could just stay one consistent size. He starts walking off.
Okay.
If only I had a video camera.
I would break it.
So, do you go up to the counter? The teenager looks very unenthused. Hello, how may I help you?
Just Edgar pops up onto the counter. Excuse me. I am down here. I would like to talk to you, sir.
Would you like to talk to me or someone else? Maybe a higher management position, I'm assuming?
Don't just assume. How dare you? I want to speak to your manager right now. I will get you fired.
He's gonna press.
I will get you arrested for this kind of language you're using against me. I will tell them you have swore and you have threatened me.
He presses the manager button that's hidden underneath the counter, and the manager comes out and he's wringing his hands. He's like, oh, sorry, mister, sorry. Did he's just trying to make sure Edgar is not displeased right now.
As he walks out, Tonbo walks in just after he's passed through, and then he just starts walking on the ceiling.
Stealth check with advantage.
I watch a lot of
20.
I watch a lot of Reddit videos of people of fucking I don't work here ladies and that. I know how to fucking act Karen now, and it scares me.
You know how to Karen. Tonbo, you're able to sneak by pretty easily.
Karen on my wayward son.
You go into
Do
the
not
back.
name this episode that, please.
You go into the back office/break room, and there is a safe, just in the corner. It's like a white fire safe.
Anybody else in there?
No.
Okay. So Tombo's just gonna immediately jump down, look at the safe. What do I have to do to as he sits there, he's like, oh shit, I don't know how to break into these things.
It's a bun combination.
Just starts looking around for a pin.
Okay, investigation.
1111 1112.
20?
Can't do that shit.
It's located underneath a hula babe
Thought
bobblehead.
that's where it would be.
It's 1113.
Oh, my third guess. And then opens, like, puts 1113.
You see a shit ton of cash. You see some very revealing photos that may or may not be used for blackmail. And you see, after just kind of scrolling through everything, you actually do see a orange stub with a barcode.
Orange stub with a... gonna pick it up and take a look at it.
There's nothing, like, really, like, of note on it. Part of it looks like it's been torn up, but it does look like it doesn't look like somebody threw in there haphazardly. It looks like they meant to put it in a safe.
Does it look old?
You can't tell.
Well, he's gonna take the stub with the barcode. When you say stub, you mean like a piece of paper, right? Like a ticket stub?
It's a piece of paper that has been perforated and ripped to only show the barcode.
Seems like it might be what I was looking for. And Tombo's also gonna put like 2,000 Jenny in the safe from his own pocket.
Okay.
I feel like I owe that much. And then closes it.
Should have took the saucy photos.
You're able just to walk out without being seen.
Just walks out from the back. And then just starts growing into his regular sizes behind like a rack of clothes.
Seeing you coming out the door, Scythe would look over by the counter again. That's when he would walk up like, Mr. Dragon, are you going to keep this up? Some of us would like to make a purchase of a bobblehead.
Don't you start speaking to me like that, young man. I will get you arrested as well. You'll be thrown in jail.
No, he won't.
I highly doubt that.
Did you just hear that? He has slandered me in front of all these people. I want him arrested and out of here right now.
Walking up to...
Looking up... Look at the manager, paying customer here.
Oh, yes, just gonna bring it up.
Yes. Bobblehead, please. And you know what? These shot glasses.
You get both.
Tombo leaves and then comes back in and like immediately is just like looking around real fast. There you are. Are you causing these people problems? Walking up to like Spencer and Edgar.
I'm sorry, I can't control him.
It's not your fault. And Tombo looks over to the man. I apologize. This was my fault. I should have kept a better eye on them. You, come on.
Don't you put your hands on me like that.
Excuse me? I will have you arrested, sir. I'm trying to do my job.
Oh no.
Oh!
Oh wait, you think you're a big you think you're big and tough? You want to take this to the alley outside?
Let's go.
Immediately just like starts walking out, like doing like the arms wide, like so what's up? What's up? Like we're gonna fight in the back parking lot.
So I'm just gonna hang back for like a minute, just watching you both leave, just shaking the head, looking at the manager again, like, what is this neighborhood coming to? Am I right?
You tell me about it. Well, I'm gonna go back in my office and do nothing suspicious.
Oh, speaking of which, actually, speaking of neighborhood, I heard that there used to be a candy shop around here.
Oh yeah, that was the building that was here a while back, actually. Well, you know, when we our branch got the place, it was already removed a couple times. It's like a pizzeria, a nail salon. Now it's this. So, yeah.
Oh, it used to be this building. Oh, that's a darn shame. I heard from some of the older folk that it was very nice.
Yeah, I guess so. It's kind of a bit of an eyesore, if you ask me. But you know, I guess not as much as the eyesore as bright yellow or bright orange and cayenne lettering. It's fine. He's just gonna go to the back room.
I suppose, and I'm just gonna leave as well.
Okay, you head out. You're all reunited in front of the car.
Apparently, this location has changed hands a few times.
Did I hear him pronounce it Cayenne?
I heard that too.
What a freak.
I know. Edgar, good acting.
Acting?
Never mind. It pulls out the little stub.
What do we have here?
It looked old and it looked suspiciously well protected inside of a safe. It's just a barcode, though. I thought maybe, I don't know, maybe Rick could look into it.
Good thinking. Snap some photos.
You get back in the car.
I'm gonna write down this place's address, by the way. So if we don't need this, just gonna mail it back to them in like a month.
Okay, fair enough.
I'll be snapping photos with, camera phone stuff.
The armadillo, like, literally has a tiny baby camera.
Oh, that's perfect.
Being held by a tiny baby armadillo.
Yeah.
Aww.
It's very adorable.
All
But
right.
yeah, you do so.
Send these to Rig.
Alright, and to the ferry. Unless anybody else needs to stop somewhere.
Not that I can think of.
Looks back to Coco. You wanna go visit where your mom was born?
Maybe I should get some hair dye.
We'll stop by a store and just pick up a box of hair dye. We're getting blonde Coco.
You guys get all the colors.
If you want to look like a part of this side of the family, you could always go with cooler colors.
How dare you?
Excuse you? Being a redhead is cool.
No, I'm talking about like color shades. Warmer tones, cooler tones.
I know.
Mr. Artist.
I was trying to make a joke. I'm sorry. He just looks so dejected, sits back down, and just curls into a ball in the back seat.
Oh my god, I'm so sorry. I'm fucking with you.
Too late. He's already depressed.
Ugh.
It's fine. You're curled up in the back seat. Are you guys heading to the ferry?
Yeah, we're driving out there now.
We're just on the way there, and Kurt just like, I'm missing people would argue with me.
Also, rule for taking shotgun grifter on top of the map, you're in charge of the radio.
Huh. Wonder what sort of stations they have.
Currently, we're on the Final Fantasy station, apparently.
Yeah.
Scary as shit, Daddy.
Oh, I love the Final Fantasy station.
My god.
Although it's scary when they start putting on the epic music right in the right after the calm ones. Shit you up fucking hard. That does. Nearly ran off the road one time.
Maybe this is what I want. Okay, so you guys basically make your way down to the ferry. You're able to board your car just fine. No worries about that. And you get on the ferry to Misty Island. As you're kind of going across from like Palmport to Misty Island, you do notice that it's not named that arbitrarily. As you're going across the ocean, the fog is actually rolling off the water, and you do see like a very calm and sleepy island ahead of you. But eventually you do get off. Very quiet, very serene, and also now you can drive around in your loud sports car. Congratulations.
Perfect.
Oh, good. Loud sports car in a sleepy town.
And then animal, we can park it.
Okay. But what are y'all doing?
Well, we have an address.
Was there a candied kiss on this place too?
Good question. We didn't actually have a write-up of the addresses.
So you don't have the physical addresses, but every island that I circled was one that
That's
in
right.
green.
That's right. Misty Island does have one.
So I'm gonna move y'all's tokens over here. Actually, not you. You stay here.
Eduardo.
Eduardo, he gets to stay and do his job.
He's our token marker, so we remember who's on what.
Yeah. But yeah, you guys do see an address. Basically, you can discern that the town on the birth certificate, town called Silent Mound on the island, in Gray Boulevard.
I'm sorry, what did you just say?
Silent Mountain.
Silent Mound.
Oh, go fuck yourself.
On Misty Island. Where the fog rolls in hard.
I swear to God, if there's a Pyramid Head reference, I'm leaving this game.
And
Looking around at
no
the
worries on that one. He was very specific.
Yeah.
Looking around at like everything here, like Tombo would just kind of like, huh. This does kind of feel like a place you'd find old Candy Pal. It's quiet. I think he'd like it here, or he must have liked it here.
This place is like living nostalgia.
It's very flat and very like kind of old, like Midwest looking. If anybody knows, not old Midwest, but like small Midwest town. If you guys know what that feel is like, with a bunch of very tall like pine trees, just kind of obscured by the fog. It smells like evergreen.
Go ahead, Noodle.
Hmm?
You were saying something.
Oh no, I was just saying I completely understand the vibe.
Yeah.
Oh, this place is nice.
It's peaceful. Like looking towards where the address would be, and just like finding a place near the ferry to just like park the car.
Yeah, you can do that.
Yeah, let's try not
Like,
to disturb the peace.
Anyone
here.
still working? Anyone still working nearby by the ferry?
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
We have this address here. Would you happen to know how far away that is?
It's just like probably 10-minute walk. Not that far actually. That's the next town over.
It's not bad at all, actually.
It's actually the highest point on the mountain.
The highest point.
Yeah, the highest point.
Well, time for a hike.
Oh, cool. A hike.
You guys start your walk,
Mm.
and when you're walking to the next town over, you have no discernible incline at all. It is basically still just as flat as the last place to your senses. But
Mountain.
apparently it's the tallest place on the island.
It's a mountain? We went up actual mountains before.
It's like an incline at best.
I mean, I'm not gonna say anything against it, are you? I mean, that was just plain pleasant.
Last mountain we went up, we had to be careful not to fall and break our limbs.
And we got stuck in a cabin too.
Yeah, that was in a snowy mountain. That was interesting.
You can kind of tell these houses are probably closer to the coast. As you kind of enter the neighborhood that's on the address, and each house is kind of they're all wooden. They have little propped up inclines, obviously, for when tropical weather, so the house doesn't flood. But it's a pretty like normal suburban neighborhood, like all things considered. Very nice. There's kids playing like basketball. And you do come across a very old but very neat looking house, and there is a car outside.
This neighborhood. Imagine what it would have been like growing up in a place like this.
Tumbo looks a little like he looks like he's thinking about something as he's just like looking around at everything. Huh. It'd be an experience. Probably a really nice one.
I'm sure it would be. God.
We shouldn't call Christopher somewhere here, right?
Probably not. The candy kiss would be extremely recognizable.
I not like in the neighborhood area. I just mean somewhere if there's a remote spot where nobody would see it on the island. I don't know. Maybe I'm being weird about it.
Do you think maybe if we brought him here, it might jog something?
Not really. Just he should get to see his home again.
Man.
There's no real reason to do it other than just maybe he'd like it.
First, let's see if there's anybody home at all.
Yeah.
You come up on the house.
Okay. First things first. Story straight. Or do we even bother because this is...
This is family business. I don't think we really need to get stories straight as much.
I also have one of those weird feelings of... when we knock on the door, step to the side, not in front of it. I mean, knowing who he was, and people who might be here.
That's fair. Still, though, I think Spencer might be right on this. If we want to do this as easily as possible,
More earnest.
if they catch us in a lie, they'll be less likely to believe what we're saying.
Okay, so the earnest delivering for family.
Yeah.
Tell the absolute truth.
So, who's going to the door?
Not I.
Looks to Spencer and Coco.
I think the most charismatic person should do it, really.
Looks to Spencer.
Okay, I'm going.
Oh, thank God I didn't want to go.
Are you guys just gonna hang out on the sidewalk like jackasses?
No, we're
No,
walking.
I'll be to the side.
Okay.
Up there.
Do you ring the doorbell?
Yes.
You hear, hold on, give me a second. And you hear some shuffling, and in the doorway you would see this woman. She's kind of tall, still shorter than Grifter, but taller than Tonbo.
I hate her.
Kind of. Wait, did it show up?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm just waiting for it to adjust. There we go.
Okay. She, thin build, is wearing kind of this maroon long sleeve shirt, jeans, and this kind of sewn together sort of like a makeshift necklace. She has white hair with brown streaks through her hair that's kind of medium length that's just kind of combed back. And freckles. She looks kind of like somebody you know. And she's just kind of sits on her cardboard box like, Hey, what do you need?
Um, this is kind of awkward, but we're here to deliver something. It's
Well, my mom's moving out, so she's not here right now.
it's something for the whole family.
Would walk up at this
Um,
point.
She looks a little bit confused.
Apologies if I have the wrong person. You wouldn't happen to be a Joanna Ward, would you?
Yeah, that's me.
Tomba would go into his bag and pull out the videotape. My name is Tonbo. Through just a bunch of different events, I ended up with something that I believe belonged, or rather is from, your late father.
You from Dad?
It's a very hard thing to explain, but and just kind of like walks over and like doesn't put the tape in her hands, but offers it to her if she wants to take it. There was a direct confirmation from him that he wanted you and your mother to have this. We haven't seen what's on it though. I figured that should be private between the family.
So he is dead.
I'm sorry to have to tell you this way.
Nah, it's... I kind of knew it deep down, but... You know, after the disappearance... Excuse me, who are you?
My name is Tonbo. I just kind of like shows the hunter badge real quick. This isn't related to anything like a mission or anything hunter related. And Tonbo's gonna like look up at her and then just... Everyone deserves their closure.
Where are my manners? Do you want to come inside?
If it's not an intrusion, of course.
No, please. And she's just gonna like kick the box out of the way and invite you guys inside. It's a very nice house. It's like 2 stories, but like compact.
Thank
that
you
makes
very
sense.
much.
No, it's no problem. I'll make you guys some tea.
Taps Grifter and Coco on the arm as they walk in. Introduce yourselves.
My name is Saif Bayer.
Hi, I'm Coco.
Nice to meet you all. And she's just gonna kind of like she has a little bit of a nervous smile, but she invites you in. The living room's pretty nice, but there's like a lot of stuff that's been removed. You see like a lot of dust-covered furniture and places where pictures would have been at some point.
Are you all planning to leave the home?
Oh, well, my mom's health has been she's in her 70s. So I was going to move her to a retirement home in Strainer's Bay.
Oh. She's doing all right, though, right? Is it more just due to age, or is she sick? I'm sorry, I shouldn't have asked. That was overstepping.
No, it's fine. Well, you know how some people kind of age faster than others. She's in her 70s, but her body is acting like she's in her 90s.
I can't imagine that's easy to deal with.
It's not, but, you know, it happens to everybody. Go on.
No, Tonbo's at a loss for words. Like, he doesn't really know what to say in the moment.
So my father, I kind of was aware of his line of work. At least not, I wasn't ignorant to it. Where did you guys find this tape?
And that's a bit of a harder one to explain. Sits, like, looks around. How familiar with his line of work were you?
I knew that he killed people for money. And I know you probably know that too.
Yeah. Do you ever remember him doing something that you couldn't really explain how he was doing it?
Magic?
We can call it that, yeah. Magic. You've seen him do that before, right? Or are you aware of...
Yeah, she's like...
Can I insight check to see if I need to be tiptoeing around the word Nen? I want to know if she knows that.
Roll an insight.
7.
Oh, come on. Also 7.
You can tell, at least from the 7, that she knows enough about it that it probably won't be that big of a deal if she doesn't know what it is, but like she's aware of it at the very least.
And you know, it's also sort of a thing that hunters are known for.
Yeah, I know my father wasn't a hunter, but
So,
despite everything, he was a good man deep down. I don't know why he did what he did, but he was a good father at least.
he cared about you all probably more than my words can even do justice for. And through a strange string of events and the magic that hunters know how to do, we spoke with him.
When he said he wanted the entire family to see this, did he mean just me and my mom, or also Kristoff?
I never...
Stop. Only you two were mentioned.
It was...
Oh.
It's a
Kristoff.
message for the both of you.
Hold on. Who's Kristoff?
Oh, Kristoff. And she's gonna... he's my cousin. Our mothers were sisters. He, apparently him and his dad knew Christopher before they met them. He was pretty close with my father, too.
Oh.
It's actually kind of funny. Our names, so, and she's actually gonna kind of smile at this point. So before we were born, both our mothers let our fathers name us. And so, Christopher and Johann had a bit of a bet that, whoever won would have to name their kid after the other person. And, they ended up tying, so, Joanna, it's the female form of Johann. Well, it's probably pronounced differently where he's from, but, and then Kristoff was named after Christopher.
Huh.
Han was smiling hearing the story. You have an interesting dad.
Yeah. You're not looking into his past, are you?
nervously sweat.
We did enough to find you was mainly what it was. I wanted to keep a promise I made to him.
Do you want to see his belongings? What he left behind before he went away for real?
Looks towards everybody else.
If you wouldn't mind.
Okay. And she's gonna actually run upstairs and she's gonna bring down a cardboard box. My father wasn't really a hoarder. He disappeared for a little bit. And that was a bit of an issue, but then he came back. And this was all that was left behind the second time he left. And you're going to see a cardboard box. Things of note. There is a locket with a broken chain. On one side of the locket, there's a picture of two children, two babies, newborns. And on the right side, there is a woman sitting in a chair. There is a bunch of glitter for some reason. Another orange perforated barcode, kind of similar to what you saw earlier, and it has the letter B plus on it. And weirdly enough, the strangest thing in the box is a wadded up napkin featuring some sort of bird with a hat on it, and it was used to cover up a wedding ring. I assumed the second time he left, he didn't want us trying to follow him, so he left this behind. And she's going to point to the wedding ring. I think he may have thought we assumed he was having an affair, but I know that's probably not what actually happened.
Unfortunately.
I don't really have a use for this anymore. Yeah, no. And she's just gonna close the box, and she's gonna look kind of pained, but she's gonna hand it over to you.
Tonbo's gonna take it, but then he's gonna like go and like sort of give the box back to her for a moment. I don't mind looking through it and seeing what's in there, but... And then he just kind of like shows her his hat. This... You should trust me on this, but... Even if you don't think you have a use for it, one day you might look back and it's gonna hurt really bad if you can't see it. It's gonna hurt really bad if you can't see it. And no matter how much you tell yourself you don't need it, it's still gonna hurt. You should keep a little piece of him.
She's gonna look at you, Tonbo, and she's actually gonna take the broken locket.
It's not gonna fix
Okay.
anything or change anything about what happened, but it's something. He'll give her a little smile, but he does look sad as he's saying it.
I appreciate you coming here. I really do. I'm sure my dad would have liked you guys. You seem interesting.
Yeah,
Not bad.
he's pretty nice.
Wait,
Then immediately, like, slip of the tongue realizes that. As I've been told.
Oh, okay. She's gonna look a little weird for a second, but like, oh, okay.
It's very long and it's hard to explain, but
If you wouldn't mind, may I look over some of the things in this box for a moment?
Oh, please. I'm fine with the locket. I kind of don't want to look at the wedding ring anymore, though.
The first thing I'm just gonna look at is the orange stub.
It is just like the other one, except the part where so there was a perforated line, and then there was one that was just kind of probably accidentally ripped off. You can see, like, on this one, it's a full barcode and has B+ on it.
Interesting.
You also notice upon further inspection of the box, there seems to be some sort of animal hair inside. It's very long and gray.
Huh. Tondo, you're more of an animal expert.
what would I have to roll to identify hair, Betty?
Animal handling?
Please and thank you.
I mean,
Oh, you've seen this thing. This is something that's actually from one of the... It's documented, but it's one of the hardest animals on Earth to see. They're called blur monkeys. There's these monkeys that, like, they start off normal monkey size, but then they kind of grow to be a little bit bigger. But they have a white fur, a pink face, and they're too fast for them to be documented on camera footage, so they leave behind like streaks and blurs when people try to photograph them.
I wonder. Wait, how did he get this?
The hair?
Yeah, this is from a blur monkey.
I'm not aware of what that is, but I don't know. My father went on to... Well, I imagine he went on quite a few business trips. He said he was doing it for all the other Candy Kiss chains, but I know he was probably doing other things, so... Wait. Don't we have... No, that's an exotic species. I was about to say, I think there's a zoo on Strainer's Bay, but I doubt they would have one of those.
Speaking of which, this napkin here with this parakeet on, is this an older version of the mascot?
I don't think that's a parakeet. She's gonna, like, look at it. No.
Does it look like it's wearing, like, a backwards hat?
No. It's wearing... and she's, like, gonna look at... I had a pet parakeet when I was a kid. They're very small. These are macaws, I think. I've seen them around the island a couple of times. Not on Misty Island. We don't have anything like that here, but you know, my home back in Palmport, there's quite a few of them. I would imagine so on the other islands. They're more tropical and less temperate.
See.
It was almost very uncanny though, wasn't it, for a moment?
Yes. It's one of those things where it just kind of made an instant connection.
I mean, even if they're different birds, I don't know. Maybe there is still a connection. They are too. I don't know, maybe it's just conspiracy theories, me. They just seem a bit too similar.
Sort of
Yeah.
coincidental.
A
Strainer's Bay.
bird with a hat, like, I know it's probably common, but I mean, you have some of the paraphernalia you bought when we went into the store, right? Can you get it out?
Oh, right, yeah. I have like a shot glass with the emblem on it.
Just put the side by side.
You look and you think they have similar colors at first, but you realize that like probably what the mascot is, it's colored to be a specific sports team, so that's why it's very vibrant. The illustration of the parrot or the macaw that you see on the napkin, the bright blue fur seems to be native to that species, and the artist was just trying to emulate it. You don't know, there might be another connection, but you can't really tell at this point.
Sorry, pardon us. It's that hunted mindset. It's hard to not think that way at times.
Oh, yeah.
Same with a rider's mindset.
Are you guys gonna stay in the area a little bit more?
We were thinking about sticking around Palmport for a while.
Palmport's a nice place, but they're honestly like outside of local businesses, there's not really much going on there, if I'm gonna be honest.
Oh, that's good to know. And we're visiting here, we're not from the area.
Oh, well,
There's
I guess if you... Yeah.
There's an associate I wouldn't mind looking up in Strainer's Bay if we potentially had to go that way, but that's about all I can think of.
Strainer's Bay is usually the town people come for all the action. Where I'm moving my mother is kind of a retirement community on one of the ends of the island, but you guys really aren't from the area, aren't you?
No, first time.
Strainer's Bay is one of the biggest trading hubs in the entire world.
Ooh.
It's kind of an oxymoron of the city. It's kind of weird to describe. She's gonna kind of like scratch her head. Yeah, if you want some more excitement, I'd probably head there, if I'm gonna be honest. But, you know, Chain Break's also a nice location. They have a lot of resorts. And a surfing competition.
Surfing competition?
Yeah, they have an annual surf... Well, actually, now they're probably wrapping it up by this point.
So what you mean to say is that we're just in time. If we get there fast enough.
Yeah. There's nothing really much on Dragon's Line, if I'm going to be honest. Obviously, there is a lot of stuff to do in Palmport. I've just been there, you know. Being in the city is different than being a tourist in the city, but Dragon's Line, they don't have the coral palm trees, so they're not as well off, unfortunately.
Now, you say that Strainer's Bay is one of the biggest trading hubs in the world?
Yeah. Well, also, like, there's a lot of smuggling that goes on there, too, but, you know.
Just gonna slowly move ahead towards Tombo. What do you think the odds are that Neelam owns something there?
He has an unfortunate way of working his way into situations I don't want him in, so pretty high.
Considering that if it's one of the biggest hubs in the world, and knowing he has his hands in everything.
You're not talking about Neelam Bay, are you?
Oh, you know.
Oh no,
Yeah.
no. He has actually the CEO of Leviatech has actually been working. Like they kind of have a rivalry going on a little bit.
Really?
Leviatech?
Yeah. Oh man. Okay, so Palmport is the biggest city in Palm Reef, but Strainer's Bay is where we get all our money from. They also have booming tech industry that arose within, the past couple decades. And the CEO, oh my God, what was his name? The CEO of Leviatech has been actually keeping, foreign markets specifically out of that. He kind of has a lot of sway around here. Freddie Balmer is what they call him in the papers.
Freddie Balmer. And you're saying that Leviatech is a rival to Neelam.
Yeah. I mean, I know Neelam Bear doesn't necessarily work in tech, but he's been. This is kind of my job, so you know.
No, anything you can definitely divulge about Neelam Bear, I am definitely all ears.
Well, I've done some commission work for Leviatech, in the past, and yeah, no, I know the CEO is very. Mr. Balmer is very. It's kind of a tongue-in-cheek thing, and she's just gonna kind of just go off about it. But yeah.
Huh. I suppose before I go any further, my elder brother, Neelam,
Oh.
let's just say any rival of his is a potential temporary ally of mine.
Bear. Oh, really? That's interesting.
We have a very interesting history together.
They don't like each other.
Just coughs and points to Coco at the same time.
As well as our sister here.
Cringing.
Oh. Oh, wait. And she's gonna, get a phone call. Yeah. I'm sorry, but I'm gonna have to leave now. It was nice meeting you all.
It's very nice meeting you too. We were really actually worried if we could deliver that tape or not.
Please take the rest of the bucks. I'll keep the locket, but I don't want to look at the wedding ring anymore.
Well, hold on
If-
to it, but
If you insist.
we'll be
It's
around
kind of a reminder.
We'll be around for a few days if you change your mind, though.
Okay.
And
Here's our contact information if you have any questions.
She's gonna write it down. Okay. Thank you very much.
of course, and if you need anything else as well, and Tombo just smiles. Any family of Christopher's is a friend of mine. So you call me if you need anything.
I'll do that.
And he just gives her a wave as we start to head out.
You guys are walking after your talk with Joanna Ward.
So, we'd be getting to the car, and Scythe would just stop and just look over at Coco. Now that talk about family back there. Do you have any questions about any of it? Is there anything that you might have wanted to know?
Really? I don't mean any offense, but we've been through a lot already.
I mean, I was more curious if you were interested in knowing anything about Bellatrix. She was your twin.
Yeah, it's a hard question. To be honest, I've been kind of trying to avoid the matter for a bit.
I mean, it's sort of something that's pretty hard to ignore.
Don't know if I'm really exactly comfortable bringing it up right now is the thing.
Well, if you ever want to know about her, I'm more than happy to talk about it because I have nothing but nice things to say about her.
Well, it's good to know.
The more I've gotten to know you, she makes a lot more sense to me now.
I don't even know how that's possible. Sassiness is not inherently genetic.
Let me tell you, twins in more sense than appearance.
Oh boy. I've almost been a bit paranoid about meeting new people lately because I'm gonna be like, oh, are you not related now too?
Guess we're both in that boat. Man. I just want to be sure to, assure you that I don't find this a burden whatsoever.
I never thought that to begin with. Just the circumstances of my family are hard enough already.
Tell me about it.
I don't think you understand. This conversation really should be you asking me about my family, in my opinion. I know a lot about yours already.
That's something, because there's a lot about my family I don't even know.
Well, I mean, as far as you told me, I know quite a bit.
No, I mean more about any of the dirty businesses that Etienne may have been involved with, and how deep that goes.
That's true. At least mine leaves her out in the open.
There's a whole dark network of things that we're not even aware of.
Probably true.
Off in the distance, there's a little piano tune that's consequently playing at the same time as you guys say that, but don't worry about it.
Oh, come on! So, let's see, was there anything listed here for Misty Island involving the Candied Kiss?
There is a location in the same town you guys are in currently.
Bingo.
We can swing by there before we head to the car.
Definitely.
And after a while, let me see if there's a more appropriate track to play right now. You guys go to the address, and you have a little bit more luck than the last location. You see a very familiar building that you don't even have to look at the number on it. It doesn't have a sign. The windows are boarded up, but you guys do find what you know to be as the Candied Kiss.
Huh. Abandoned?
Abandoned.
Well, that'd make it easier to search.
Also, for hindsight, too, if maybe at a later point, maybe when his wife and daughter aren't on the island, but I don't think anybody would notice a Candied Kiss popping up where a Candied Kiss is.
Definitely sounds like the way to go.
But first, we need to see what's in here. If this one's boarded up, then that means he probably left something in here.
Now, be aware there may be squatters.
Oh, that's fine. I'm just already starting to look for a way in.
There's a couple loose boards that you can just move out of the way real quick.
Go ahead and move those and just kind of keep a lookout as I usher everybody in.
Okay. You guys make your way inside?
Yep. I'm gonna pull out my flashlight.
You do. There's cobwebs everywhere. There's chipmunks running around.
Aw.
They're cursing
Stop
at you.
singing Kill 'em.
They're cursing at your rat because they're bastards. Funbo.
Oh, I'm gonna look at them and hold on. Nat 20. I scold all of them.
Oh, they
Wow.
feel super fucking bad, and they.
Bad chipmunks. You need to learn manners.
You guys are just walking through. There's a lot of dust. You see the countertop that you're familiar with, but everything behind it is barren. It's the shape of the candy kiss, but it's doesn't have the life in it anymore.
Let's see. If this place has the same layout as the Candy Kiss we're familiar with, then there may be something in one of Christopher's back rooms.
Be careful checking through.
Of course.
With that nat 20 baddie, can Tombo lean down to the chipmunks and ask them if anything else is in here?
They're going to describe. You can't actually talk to animals. They're gonna like.
No, not like ask them in that sense of like them giving me words. It's like, just be like, hey, just give me a sign if there's anything else in here. Like, do you guys just trying to like? Yeah, I think you get what like how you would ask an animal, like, hey, if you say paw, they'll give you paw.
Squickity, squicker,
One of them is gonna bring you back a bullet casing.
Oh.
Yep. We know who was here.
Thank you, little chipmunks. Now be gone with you. It's not safe.
Be gone!
Pocket that. It might be worth looking into.
Already in my pocket.
Gonna run off. So, what are you guys doing now?
So, let me just put myself on the map so it's a lot easier to describe things. Alright, so going to where the door is here.
Yeah.
Going to like, is the door locked?
No. There is no door.
There's no door. Okay, well. So a flashlight pointed down the hall, so it's clear but dusty and cobwebby.
Yeah.
Alright. Thunder. There's multiple doors back here. Could you watch my back for one as I open the other?
On it.
Okay, we'll start with this one.
Ooh,
So
wait a minute. I think I have an idea. I run back out to the front and start rummaging through all like the thing. Is there like any spoons left here, Batty?
Oh, for God's sake.
I don't have any on
there
me.
are spoons.
I only need like 3. So,
okay. You find some.
Let them sort of just like perk up, and then just like let them walk over towards Grifter. We'll let the spoons draw the fire in case something's in there.
well, I was gonna say you move past me and check and keep an eye on those 2 doors there while I open this one.
That'll work too. Take a spoon for protection though.
Okay. Just gonna stand to the side of the door and open it.
Okay. I need to describe what you see right now. You haven't smelled anything going in here, which is a little bit weird.
Not even musty?
Well, you smelled must, but what you think you would have smelled this thing that you've seen in here by now, as you're going to see somebody that you've seen recently, but he's not gonna be anywhere on this mortal plane. You see Bunko's thing 2, as he referred to him. He's gonna be lifeless in the corner. There's just like some wooden boards just like haphazardly thrown over him. Maybe like they fell on him at one point. There's cardboard. His body is being, I don't know how to describe this. Things have definitely eaten at him, but his flesh isn't rotting or decaying.
Son of a bitch. Tombo, I've seen this person before.
Who is it?
This is one of Marlowe's people.
And pulls out the bullet casing from his pocket. Maybe they were trying to defend themselves against something.
Oh,
Someone has definitely been here ahead of us. He was definitely having a look in oh my god, do you think this has anything to do with the documents?
Let's look through the entire place before we come to any conclusions.
Gonna close the door real quick. Not gonna step in just in case.
Gonna look
Okay.
over to Spencer and Coco. Hey, be on your guard.
Understood.
Are you gonna be okay,
Spencer's
Spencer?
not saying a word.
Someone
He-
might still be here.
To be honest, he hasn't been speaking this whole time, and even Edgar hasn't been speaking ever since leaving the house.
Are you alright, Spencer?
Does-
Moral dilemmas going through my head right now.
Is this too much for you?
Oh, no, it's not that. I'm just thinking. I don't know if now's the right time to be talking about this, or maybe we should wait till later.
Let's make sure we're not alone here.
Yeah. I'll voice my thoughts in a minute.
Tombo, other two doors.
Yep.
Alright. Count to 3, we each open 1,
1,
2, 3. And we each open the respective door.
I'm looking in this one over here.
Grifter, you see a bathroom that the toilet has been removed from the piping, and the mirror is cracked.
So Dustin was here.
Tonbo, you open up and you see what would be the room where Christopher in his normal shop keeps all of his firearms.
Tombo's
And
never actually been back
instead-
to that room. He's never been out of the front room of the Candied Kiss.
I guess you wouldn't recognize it, but there is a desk, hasn't been used in ages, and roll me a quick perception check, non-passive.
Oakley Boke. 20 tizzle.
You do see from one of the boards, one of the holes in the building, there's a light ray that catches a bit of broken glass on the floor off to the side underneath some cardboard and or broken wood that you can see.
Huh. He would turn back out. There's something in there I want to check.
Right.
Grifter, you don't find anything in the room you're looking in.
That's a good thing. Closing it. And I'll be joining Tombo.
Tombo, you go up to the object that you see buried, and you actually would find a photograph. It looks like it's two men, probably in their 30s or 40s, with their arms like around each other. One of the men's heads is ripped off in the photo. And the other one appears to be a guy. He has a prosthetic leg. Seems to be very tall, blonde, has a blonde beard. And he's like giving a thumbs up.
Huh. Do I recognize
Sorry.
anything about the outfit the other guy is wearing? Does it have any
It's a light colored button up and dress pants with suspenders, which looks kind of similar to somebody that you may know.
So the logic I approach that with Batty, so that way it's not just out of left field making this association.
Yeah.
Tonbo's idea of what basically ghosts wear what they had on when they died, and that's just what he
Okay.
remembers Christopher in. So it's like, huh. Easy to keep your clothes when you go.
Looks like even in this version of the Candy Kiss, Christopher's storeroom is here.
Is that what this is?
This is where he had a bunch of firearms. I actually did a lot of training with him.
I've never been back here. I've only seen the front.
You don't remember the desk, Grifter?
This, however, this was not there.
Also, none of the shelving for any of the firearms are there either.
Gonna... Grifter, give me a hand with this. And he's gonna walk over to the desk and investigate it.
Righto.
Would this be assisted with advantage, Batty?
Yes.
Nat 20! I'm glad I asked you to help me.
You find something written underneath the desk. It's backwards. It's not in your native language this time, but it does look suspiciously like the blue ink that you remember seeing on the classified document. And I'm gonna say with that Nat 20, basically the message just says, look in the blue moon under the red sun.
Look under the blue moon in the red sun. That's all that's written under here.
Suppose this information that we're dying for. Are there any other firearms left over in this room?
Nope.
Cleaned
No.
out.
That one bullet casing's all you see.
Well, there's still one room left in this area.
I wonder if the guy from the other room... Tombo's just thinking for a second and then looks to Grifter. You don't think Bunko got the papers from here, did he?
That's a good question. Either way, once we're done here, we need to find a payphone.
I'm gonna say, for expediency's sake, you look in the back room and there's, in the, I guess, kitchen area, storeroom, there's nothing there.
Okay. I'm not touching his associate until we've contacted the Marlowe first.
I don't think we should deal with it at all. If Bunko needs to deal with his associate, he'll come to do it on his own terms. The second we can get ourselves involved with it, we're now wrapped up in something else.
You're right. We got something we came here looking for. If there was anything else here, they've already cleaned it out.
I think they didn't
That
find
picture
it.
you found.
I don't think they found everything they were looking for is the problem, and like gestures to where the ink... It was underneath the desk, right?
Yeah.
Something tells me they didn't find everything that they were looking for. And
Probably a good thing.
with that being said, Tombo is going to snap a picture of what's under the desk, and then Tombo is going to break said desk.
Good thinking.
You just splinter it.
That picture you found, you don't suppose that's the Johann we've heard about?
Who else do you know Christopher would like it that close to him?
True that.
I wonder if he would remember this if he saw it. Or rather... No, I think I know what to do with this later on. But we'll need to stop by and get something later. But for now, let's go let's go back with everyone else.
Actually, I have a very morbid idea real quick. I'm curious. Someone who managed to kill one of Marlowe's associates. That couldn't have been easy. I'd like to know the nature of how they died.
I mean, it might have been easy. We don't know how strong they were.
Strong enough they could have come with us to the trials in Bulu.
I mean, Spencer doesn't know that.
Hey, watch our back, Tombo. And also, don't overreact when you see what I'm about to do. from the doorway, Scythe's shadow is going to extend over to the body and enter it.
You can hear a lot of gushy noises as, in a very inhuman way, the body is going to start to stand up, and its light is slightly illuminated by one of the streaks of light shining through the building. And you're able just to see, like, one of his dead eyes just kind of rolling around sporadically.
Okay, a little closer towards me. Alright, and like getting a good look around with the flashlight. Let's see here. Where was it on you what could have done you in? Just having the body move around, like turn around and stuff, so I can get a good look at it.
You notice 2 protrusions in the body outright. Okay, so like a lot of this guy's flesh has been ripped away by animals, but there's been no like maggots or like any insects specifically that have been eating it. This body looks like it's been dead for a little bit, but it's not rotten. And looking into the body, you see going down both the shoulders, long ways through the body, there seems to be 2 holes.
Those definitely do not look natural. All right. But just looking at the body, place your fingers in the holes.
It's going to do so.
Okay, root around in there. Is there anything to pull out?
It comes up with nothing.
Examine fingers.
The fingers, one has been partially bitten off, but they seem pretty immaculate. Like, considering they're obviously like blued and grayed, but
I was hoping for a fluid.
No fluids. This seems dry for some reason.
How are you so preserved? What happened here? Go back to your laying position.
He's gonna lay, and as you do notice something that you didn't notice before.
Hold it!
As he lays down, you find where the exit wound for the 2 holes at the top were. They went straight through the feet. There were holes in his shoes.
Dear Lord.
Jesus.
Through the body is a hole. Okay. Whoever did this knew exactly what they were doing.
The only person I know who can shoot like that is Dustin.
From all the different things I was taught from Christopher, do these look like bullet holes, or do they look like...
These are definitely bullet holes.
These are definitely bullet holes. Well, somebody got the drop on them. Which probably explain maybe from the looking at the ceiling.
You would see 2 entry holes, specifically the ceiling. Actually, the light that was illuminating the body, they're coming from that.
We're dealing with an expert here. No ordinary killer could have done that. Sorry for the intrusion thing. And I'll be taking my shadow back.
Thing 2 to the deceased section.
Sorry you had to see that, Tombo.
Unfortunately, I expected to see something like that. Christopher has a lot of connections and a lot of people who would have known what it is that he did.
I was more referring to me being able to do that.
I've stopped asking questions about Nen at this point. You'd see Tonbo's actually not laughing when he's looking down at his own arms and stuff.
That was me out of character laughing.
Well, you'd still see Tombo like looking down at himself. You delve too deep in Nen, you start to learn things about what it can really do.
I had a feeling something like this might help me with, well, let's just say for forensic sake.
It doesn't leave fingerprints. If we're dealing with somebody who really knows what it is that they're doing, then as little proof that we were even here is better to leave. I probably shouldn't have broke the desk.
Hopefully whoever was here isn't going to come back to look at that, but if they think that they were already thorough enough, they should hopefully not return.
Here's hoping, and then...
Either way, we should definitely make ourselves scarce.
Yeah, I guess... reconvene with fucking Coco and Spencer, and then I guess head to the car.
Okay, yeah, you guys just make it to the car.
Oh, look at this!
Oh, don't worry about that. Ignore that for now.
Wow!
Oh my god, that hurt my eyes.
I loved it!
Don't worry about it. You'll find out later. What are you guys doing now?
Back at the car with everyone, I would assume.
Yeah, we're gonna head back to the car.
Okay, fair enough.
So... I assume we're heading to Strainer's Bay, right?
Shit! Don't worry about it.
That sounds like a plan. If that is, the big hub. Funny how the smallest of these islands happens to be the biggest trading hub.
Looks over at the rest of everyone. I mean, Christopher's daughter and wife should have the tape. Well, they do.
Yes.
Something's bothering me though, and then it's like... if the guy's dead in the candied kiss, and that connects to Christopher in some way... I kinda hope we didn't just put a big red target on somebody's head.
Well, we're not sure who could have done that. What if... I mean, there's a possibility maybe that Johan fellow could have done it. Not wanting people to, look into a building he was associated with.
Last thing he was told to do is protect Christopher's family.
Exactly.
Looks towards everybody else. What do you guys think we should do?
It's fucking miles away.
Spencer?
Mm-hmm.
Are you alright?
Oh, yeah.
What's on your mind?
Edgar's just has Spencer on the shoulder and says, might as well tell him now. I don't. I'm not good at speaking my mind. That's kind of why he exists in the first place, but. Would it be a really stupid idea if, I don't know, we let Christopher see his wife? Even if he doesn't remember?
I was thinking the same thing.
I mean, she's going into a home. That's the last place anyone ever wants to be. As soon as you get in there, I've seen what happens to people when they go in there. They start to slip away from the rest of reality. I was already born to parents who were too old to take care of a child, so I've already seen this happen before. They deserve to see each other one last time before the memory starts to fade even further away from each other.
What would you say that
He just starts fucking. He starts tearing.
What would you say that what we did attempt to do something like that, but we wait for when Joanna returns?
How about... And Tonbo's gonna look towards Grifter because you have the card. How about we let Christopher make his own decision on what he wants to do with it? We can ask him what he wants to do.
Well, all we have to do is pop in a mailbox.
And just not look at the candied kiss for a second. There a mailbox around here, Batty?
Building right next to this one.
Well, don't mind us. Open up, pop one in, close, and just look towards the ferry for a moment.
Do so. There's a small breeze, and you turn back, and the candy kiss has its sign back.
Taking the card back.
Go on in.
Okay.
Now let's hope somebody doesn't have their eye on us.
Oh, Chippy, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Okay. You're back in normal candy kiss.
Christopher!
Out of there.
Good to see you again after, it hasn't all been now that long, but,
No, it really hasn't.
can you do me a quick favor? Could you check your supply closet real quick?
That is a very strange request. Alright. Should I ask what this is about?
If everything is, well, last we were here, there was a body in there.
I keep this place clean, but alright.
You look in the supply closet. It's normal. Nothing there.
There's nothing wrong with my supply closet. Still has detergent in it and all that.
Interesting. Okay.
Alright.
Good.
No, hold on here. Fill me in. What's up here?
We're not in Dolly Harbor.
Okay.
We're on Misty Island. We
Christopher, that name sounds familiar.
Christopher, this current candy kiss that we are all in right now this has taken the place of an older abandoned candy kiss, presumably about 20 years old.
There's a fresher dead body in there.
Very.
Not of
Very fresh.
someone
Two-
who's recent.
2 bullet holes from the rooftop, straight down through the body, out the feet.
Was there any sign of entrance from the roof?
There was definitely light beam coming through holes in the roof, presumably where the shooter was.
That doesn't mean the shooter was there. They could have come from under.
You are correct. Shit, we didn't even consider that.
Now, that's just under the assumption that there might be a subfloor.
Do you
But-
have a subfloor?
Not that I know of, but that doesn't mean other buildings don't. What
I
I'm
mean,
saying
this-
is look at all of the options.
Well, presumably it was. This is the same layout. This current building. So my assumption is, if you do not have a subfloor, then neither did that building.
Again,
Who was it that was killed?
Grifter.
Hmm?
Just like actually taps him on the thing. I think you're forgetting what we're doing. You're getting wrapped up in things.
Correct. I'm sorry.
We're not here about a killer, Christopher. And Tombo's just gonna like sit.
It's a bit more personal this time around.
I
I know we don't know each other that well, so I'm sorry if any of what's about to happen is a bit forward, I guess.
We met Joanna.
You remember that name?
Oh, show him the box.
And just kind of put the box on the table.
Kind of open it up a bit hesitantly.
You see your wedding ring.
She still had it, huh?
There was a locket too, but Joanna kept it.
You think you remember a locket, maybe? Kind of fuzzy. Oh, wait, no, you do remember that locket. You remember how you felt when it snapped. It wasn't good. But you don't know. You don't remember how it snapped.
There was a time when it broke. The chain. I was mighty pissed about that. Don't quite remember how it happened, but I remember how it felt. I wanted to do something. I was mad, real mad, but I suppose memories like that aren't really important right now.
That's the whole point.
Why the hell is there glitter in here?
We didn't figure that part out. But for what it's worth to you, Joanna remembers you as a good man.
Well,
She was also aware of what you did for work. She just,
guess I didn't. Go ahead.
I don't know if this is too hard to ask you, but she just was never clear why you were doing it. I don't know if you want me to relay a message to her.
The tape should say everything that needs to be said.
Oh, actually, the tape. There was a... Tombo's snapping his fingers trying to point to everybody. Who was the other name?
Christoph.
Did you want to... Yeah. Did you want Christoph to see that too?
You remember Kristoff. You kind of have a feeling that you treated him like a son, but he wasn't necessarily your son. He's very close.
He's not blood. Though it would probably feel a bit awkward since the tape is meant for just those two. But closure is closure, I suppose.
Now, Christoph is Johann's son, right?
Right about that.
Is this Johann? And Tombo's gonna pull out the picture.
Oh yeah, that's Johann, Christopher.
Bastard, yeah it is. Where did you find this?
Here,
Yeah, here.
in the back room. A different back room, but the back room.
Guess I'm giving it back to who it belongs to. I was gonna try to buy you a frame for it first, but...
There was also a desk with a message on it.
The message on
Well,
it.
I should say, under it. See, look in the blue under the red sun.
Blue moon, red sun.
Blue moon under the red sun.
You don't know what that means.
Can't say I know what that means, unfortunately.
Has something to do with that operation report.
What was that? Operation Red Sun, wasn't it?
It was Operation Defang, but there was something about the setting sun or the red sun.
Red Sun.
If you check. Not Christopher.
I was trying to look at the document, but it's not coming up. It's just there we go. But
Actually, you guys would have the document. It says
Yeah.
Bleeding Sun.
the bleeding sun.
Bleeding sun, red sun, blue moon. A lot of celestial bodies here.
I wonder if there's a place on one of the islands that's named after that.
Can't hurt to look.
And keep an eye out, see what's going on, but... All that aside, the main thing we came to ask you, Christopher. Your wife is probably gonna... No, she's going into a home fairly soon. And... it's not fair to make the decision for you. Do you want to see her one more time?
Of course I do. Why wouldn't I? Even if I can't remember her face, or even her name. This is gonna sound a bit cliche, but... you ever love someone enough that you're willing to kill people for them?
Tombo thinks back to the hunter's exam and even further beyond that. And then... yeah.
Very familiar with that feeling.
originally, this is going to be, again, sounding so like out of a storybook, but originally everything I did was for myself, for money, power, the whole works like that. But then you meet someone who is just a little bit as crazy as you are. And you can't help but love them. Love them with everything you have. Of course, I'd love to see her again.
If that's how you really feel, Christopher, and Tombo's smiling up at you, then even you got to admit it. A videotape isn't going to do it justice.
No, I didn't think it would. I just thought it was the only other chance I had.
But do you know who we are? I went to hell in high water for Grifter. I'd find you a chance if that's what you really wanted. And then just like puffs his chest out towards Christopher, like it's in a joking manner. It's not like an arrogant way. Honestly, you all seem to underestimate how far I'll really go for you.
I wouldn't test this one, Christopher. When he says it, he means it.
I knew I made the right choice in trusting y'all.
Well, I guess there's nothing left to do but go get you your ward.
Shut up.
It made Christopher laugh. That's all that mattered.
Jesus.
That was a sweet moment, Jack. Who put ice in your veins?
The world did.
Just hang tight for a little bit.
Okay, so do you guys leave?
That's all I have to do. I don't know if anybody else.
Tombo, one sec. Can you hand me that bullet casing real quick?
Oh, yeah, here.
Before we head out, Christopher, can you identify what sort of gun would fire this?
Oh, he's deafened and muted.
No! Well, I guess we're heading out then.
I can tell you guys out of character later. But, yeah, no, you guys start going back.
It's a long, intricate name, Grifter. Here, let me write it down on a piece of paper that you can read at your leisure later on.
Now, Tombo, we just did something major here. We definitely need to keep our eyes peeled now.
Yeah. Unfortunately, if people are looking into us, they're gonna think we're looking into them. And you see
This
him
is a bit
pinching the
more
bridge
than
of his nose.
This is a bit more than a fresh coat of paint.
Yeah, this is, I think my desire to help. You know what? No. If that's what, if it means helping Christopher, then we'll deal with it as it shows up.
Luckily, she's only just down the street.
Make an insight check, Dan.
Okay. My best stat that I always do so well with.
Luckily, she's just down the street, so we're just going.
Wow.
Like, anybody
Wow.
around can make an insight check. It's not just Dan. It's just more specifically because Grifter was talking to him.
Just gonna let you know, Jack, I never, ever, ever get good insight checks.
Noodle, are you still here? Or did you fall asleep?
I know I'm still here. I can't sleep sitting up.
Okay. As we start making our way over, like, as Tonbo says that, Spencer, you can see on his face, he genuinely means what he's saying, but there's a level of just like you can't really see what it is because irritation isn't the right word for it. It's more just he just seems it's hard to say because it would have been easier if Grifter had got it, but he seems off as he's saying it.
It also makes sense for Grifter to get that nat 1 because the old Grifter paranoia setting in.
Yep.
It's the whole thing with the lights all over again.
But no, you would easily catch that on his face, Spencer.
What was it again? Sorry.
He looks like bothered by something, but he doesn't look like he's mad. But as he says, like, if it means helping Christopher, and we'll do it and we'll deal with it. But he looks, there's something off with his face.
So are you guys heading back to the house now?
Yes.
No, not yet.
Oh.
Okay.
Actually, Spence will whisper to Edgar, and then he'll just like walk off to the side and have him bring Tombo over.
What's up?
Hey, the idiot wants to talk to you.
He just looks at Edgar and looks at Spencer. How can I help you, Spencer?
Are you okay?
I'm fine. Just kind of like pats his chest. Just the same old Tondo, really. Honestly, I should have been a friend hunter at this point. He's kind of like not really making eye contact. He's got a smile, but you ever see somebody make a forced smile?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's just that. Why, are you alright? Do you need something?
I don't want to sound naggy or anything, but you look painful when you force that smile.
As you say that, like, it immediately just drops. Well, you know, if you're not smiling, you're frowning. This way it just works better for everyone. Because, you know,
No,
everyone
it
needs closure.
doesn't. Just please. I know we haven't known each other that long, but take it from someone who's seen people force this kind of smile. People who can't even remember who you are anymore force that kind of smile. When you know they're hurting so much. I can't wait to see it again. People are hurt too much and they never tell anyone about it.
Just immediately.
There's all been too much today.
Hey, look. I got a lot to deal with, and I got a lot to do. But if I didn't help my friends when they need it, then I really wouldn't be able to recognize who I am anymore. But I understand what you're saying. It's just not... I don't know if you can understand it, but... it's not time for me to really smile yet. for caring enough to ask. And he'll give Spencer a little hug.
Spencer hugs back, and he feels like he doesn't ever want to let go of this one.
You don't have to. Tombo will just pick you up and start walking with you back to the car.
There you two are. Are we heading to the house?
Yeah, we're gonna head down there. Just to get some stuff.
Constantly looking over my shoulder.
Grifter, I thought you knew better than that. And then just, like, looks at you. You don't need to look over your shoulder. My eyes are good enough for both of them. Calm down, Bear.
There's many times I'm grateful for those eyes and ears.
Well, they're not going anywhere, so... Why don't you take a deep breath and enjoy the nice air out here? We'll deal with whatever comes our way, if it comes our way.
You know,
But remember what we came here to do.
it is refreshing here.
Yeah, you could bring Rick here one summer. You know what?
Think about it.
Why don't you do that? And just, like, Tombo's just immediately, like... He's perking up, but I would say, Spencer, you can still tell it's a lot of it is, like... He's being more energetic than he, like, really feels at the moment.
Yeah.
Why don't you do that, Grifter? As we go around to these islands, why don't you keep a little notepad to help keep it when you start feeling yourself getting a little paranoid or antsy. Look for a place you think Rigard would like.
Huh.
Instead of worrying about things that may or may not come our way, think about what you can control and what you can show Rig that he never got a chance to see before.
Well, keep that in mind.
And I figured this would just kind of be as we're walking, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys
You know how-
actually, you guys actually would see a note on the door. I don't know if you guys were still talking or not.
There's a note?
It says to the movers, I've already head off. The door's unlocked, and it says to the very nice individuals that stopped by earlier, you can find us on Pelican Beach.
Pelican Beach. Where the heck is that?
Is it on Misty Island?
She would have mentioned Pelican Beach is where the home is in Strainer's Bay. It's like a district of the city.
They've already taken off.
Well, they're heading where we were heading anyway.
That's true.
Looks towards Coco and Spencer. Strainer's Bay?
Bye, my me.
Yeah.
Okay. You guys set out on the next ferry to Strainer's Bay as night descends.
Someone we can actually use that car.
Yeah, I didn't want to drive around being obnoxious in a town like that.
Oh, yeah, definitely not that. That would have been horrid of us.
I'm gonna close my eyes for a minute just to let me know when we get close.
I'm gonna do.
You guys start moving, and you see on the ferry, and you see lights in the distance. Even though nightfall already has occurred by the time you get there, I want... Okay, so this is how I'm going to describe it. As you guys are moving forward, it is nighttime. It is dark. You see kind of lights of Strainer's Bay in the distance, but they're not that bright because they're far away. But for some reason, everybody but Tombo, your eyes kind of hurt a little bit. Like you're kind of squinting a bit and you don't know why.
How many buildings are brightly lit up?
You realize that the brightness is not coming from the buildings.
Wait,
It's coming from somewhere that currently you can't see.
gonna squint and look up.
You feel like something's there, but you can't see it at the moment. But your eyes are, it's harder to look at.
Going to use Gyo.
I was gonna ask the same thing if I could do it.
No, Tombo's sleeping right now.
Oh, I thought they would have woken me up when we got closer.
Yeah, sure. You can be awake. You use Gyo.
Tombo, you might want to see this.
Hold on.
Above Strainer's Bay, you see a giant blood red sun. Circular red, hovering over the city itself.
Where?
The black night sky turns into a very vibrant purple. Midnight purple. And you can feel the energy just radiating off of everything.
Huh.
Well, we definitely found the place.
And I'm gonna take you to the map, which now you guys can see.
Before we continue,
Yes.
just based on the time that this has been going, would this be a point to consider stopping, or are we still going?
Yeah.
So how long have we been going?
About 3.5, 3 hours 20.
Okay. I'd say this is actually a perfect place to stop. But you guys finally made it to Strainer's Bay.
You know, if it wasn't for the obvious eyesore, this might have been a perfect place after all.
Just rubbing eyes because it just hurts to look at this thing.
Yeah.
Why'd my eyes regenerate fast?
They swapped out for prescription sunglasses.